The film begins with Bella standing with her boyfriend, Edward, who will soon be her husband. They are finalizing their wedding arrangements. Bella is happy because Edward agreed to bite her and turn her into a vampire like him so they can live together forever, making their love eternal. Edward had been reluctant to transform her, considering it selfish. But Bella kept pressuring him until he agreed, on the condition that they marry first. The day before their wedding, Edward goes to speak with Bella to confirm if she is still determined to marry him. Edward reminds her that he is a vampire, that he has taken many human lives, and that he is an evil person. But Bella tells him that she loves him no matter what, and she is sure that he is not evil at all, but that he is kind deep down. She tells him that she wants nothing but to complete her life with him. They then share a close moment. The next day, Bella starts preparing for her wedding. Her father, Charlie, and her mother, Renee, come to attend her wedding, despite being divorced, as their relationship is good. They both give her the family heirloom necklace, as they had agreed to give it to her on her wedding day. They instruct her and her husband to pass this heirloom down to their daughter, as it is a family inheritance. Bella is very touched and thanks them both. Afterward, Bella gets ready and walks out with her father to the ceremony. Her father hands her over to Edward, and finally, Bella and Edward are officially married. They will be able to spend the rest of their lives together. The reception begins. Everyone in attendance stands up to give a speech for Bella and Edward. They all congratulate them on their marriage and wish them happiness. Finally, Edward gets up to say a few words to Bella. He tells her that she is the only person in front of whom he can act naturally without pretending. Whenever he is next to her, he feels happiness and joy. He also says that he cannot describe his feelings in words and wishes with all his heart to complete his life with her forever. Afterward, Bella and Edward are surprised by Jacob, who arrives at the wedding. He congratulates them both on their marriage. Jacob is still affected by Bella's choice of Edward, as he is a werewolf and Edward is a vampire, and there is a historical feud between werewolves and vampires. Bella was torn between choosing the two of them until she chose Edward in the end. Jacob will remain her friend. Edward leaves Bella and Jacob alone and goes inside the party. Bella tells Jacob that she is very happy that he is there now. Jacob tells her that he could not miss her last night as a human before she transforms into a vampire. Bella tells him that this night will not be her last night as a human, because she will spend their entire honeymoon as a human first, and then she will transform. Jacob gets upset here and tells her that she should not enter into a relationship with Edward, who is a vampire, because he might kill her. Jacob begins to get angry and raise his voice. Bella tells him that this is none of his business. Jacob gets even angrier and grabs Bella's arm, but Edward intervenes immediately and pulls him away from her. Jacob's werewolf friends arrive and tell him not to get involved in this matter and to leave her alone. Jacob tells Edward that he will cause Bella's death one day. Jacob then leaves and walks away. Afterward, Edward takes Bella and they return to the reception. Bella goes to say goodbye to her mother and father. After she says goodbye to everyone, Bella leaves with Edward to travel to the place where they will spend their honeymoon. Edward takes her to a private island so they can spend their honeymoon alone without anyone else disturbing them. Bella is very impressed with the house they will stay in. Edward surprises her with a swim in the water. They spend that night together under the moonlight. The next day arrives, and Edward is upset with himself and sad about what he did because he injured Bella yesterday and caused her many bruises. But Bella keeps calming him and tells him that she is neither upset nor sad. On the contrary, she was very happy. Bella is the one who continues to reassure him. The days pass, and Bella and Edward are living the happiest days of their lives together. They both are enjoying themselves and spending a beautiful time together. At the same time, Jacob is very upset and extremely worried about Bella. He tells his friends that if anything happens to Bella, he will not care about the peace treaty between them and the vampires, and he will go and kill Edward. But his friends here advise him to put this matter out of his mind, focus on his own life, find a girl from the werewolf tribe to be with, and move past Bella. The next day arrives, and Bella wakes up and doesn't find Edward present. But she finds a message he left her saying that he went hunting and will be back soon, and he did not want to wake her up and bother her. When Edward returns, he finds Bella very sick, and she doesn't know the reason for her illness. Edward stays by her side, but Bella notices that her stomach is slightly enlarged and that something is moving. Bella suspects that she is pregnant and asks Edward if she can get pregnant so quickly from a vampire. Edward stops in shock here and calls his father, Dr. Carlyle, to ask him about what is happening. When his father hears this, he is shocked and tells him to return to the town as soon as possible to examine her and find out what is happening to Bella. Edward tells Bella that he will not allow this child to harm her and will have his father perform an abortion as soon as they return. This is because it is impossible for a human to give birth to a vampire child and survive. There is a high probability that the child inside her will feed on her and her vital organs and kill her. Of course, Edward loves her very much and decides to get rid of the child for her safety. As for Bella, at that moment, she remains silent and doesn't know how to make a decision about this matter. Edward goes out and prepares their bags with supernatural speed. He takes Bella and they move together to Edward's house. 2 weeks later, Charlie, Bella's father, goes to Jacob and tells him that Bella called him. He tells him that she said that she and Edward extended their trip a little and won't be returning for a while, but he felt that there was something strange in her voice. When he asked her, she told him that everything was fine. Jacob suspects something here and feels that something happened to Bella, and his suspicions are correct. Jacob leaves and goes to the Cullen house and meets Carlyle. Jacob asks him about Bella and Edward. Carlyle tells him that Bella and Edward returned 2 weeks ago, but this is a secret and no one must know about their return yet. Jacob is surprised here about the reason for hiding their return. He goes out to meet Bella, and as soon as he sees her and her large stomach, which is covered in bruises, he knows that she is pregnant. He is shocked even more and freezes in his place and doesn't say anything. But after he processes the situation, he asks Carlyle about what is happening. Carlyle tells him that they cannot determine what the thing she is pregnant with is. The scans do not show anything for an unknown reason, and all they know is that this thing is hurting her very much internally and killing her. Jacob gets very angry and yells at Carlyle, asking him why he hasn't aborted this thing yet. Bella interrupts them and tells them that this is her decision, and neither of them has the right to make this decision. Edward goes out to speak with Jacob privately. They both go outside to talk. Edward tells Jacob that he and all his family tried to convince Bella to abort this child, but she is completely refusing. Edward asks him to talk to her and try to convince her to change her mind because he has a great influence on her and she might listen to him. Jacob asks him what will happen if she is not convinced by his words. Edward tells him that if she is not convinced by his words, she will die. And if Bella dies, I will allow you to kill me, he says. Jacob agrees immediately because he has wanted to kill Edward for a long time, and this is the deal of a lifetime for him. Jacob goes in to talk with Bella. As soon as he enters, Bella can tell that Edward sent him. Jacob asks her why she wants to risk her life and keep this child in this way. Bella tells him that this child is a miracle and something very special to her, and she won't be able to get rid of it. Jacob tells her that this miracle child will finish her off in the blink of an eye. Jacob keeps begging her to remove this idea from her mind and not kill herself. But Bella is not convinced by his words and remains determined to keep this child. She tells him that everything will be fine. Jacob gets angry and tells her that he doesn't want to be present at the moment she will die. Jacob leaves her and walks away. He goes to the werewolves and he finds them aware of Bella's pregnancy. He finds the werewolf leader saying that they should attack Bella and kill her so that this creature is not born, because her child, who will be born, will be a very strong creature with an unimaginable thirst for blood. The leader also tells Jacob that he will be forced to participate with them in the attack on Bella, but Jacob gets angry at the leader and tells him that he is not subject to anyone, and he does not take orders from anyone. He leaves him and walks away. Jacob separates from his tribe and decides to warn the Cullen family. He finds his friend, a werewolf named Seth, coming after him. Jacob tells him to return to the tribe because he might fight against them. Seth tells him that he is his friend through thick and thin, and he has no problem dying for him. Jacob hugs his friend. They both go to meet Edward. Jacob tells Edward everything. Edward tells him that he will not let anyone touch Bella. Jacob tells him that he and Seth are with them in this battle. They all sit together to start planning for this battle. Despite Carlyle's refusal to enter the battle because of the peace treaty, Jacob tells him that their leader will launch an attack anyway, but they don't know the exact time, and that the leader won't care about the peace treaty, and there will be a battle regardless. So, they start conducting patrols around the Cullen house, taking turns guarding and being alert for an attack at any time. The next day arrives. Carlisle examines Bella and tells her that the child is growing at an unnatural speed, and its strength is increasing in a strange way. She won't be able to tolerate its presence in her stomach any longer. There is a high probability that her heart will stop, and she will die even before she can give birth to it. But despite all this, Bella remains determined to keep the child. Edward tells her that he won't be able to live without her, but she tells him that he will have a part of her that he can raise and care for. He also tells her that he will never be able to love or forgive his son if she dies for him to be born. Edward gets upset and tells her that he thought she loved him, and at least she would consider his opinion in a decision like this, but she made this decision without ever consulting him. He leaves her and walks away. The days pass, and Bella's condition gets worse and worse. Bella tells them that she feels extreme thirst. Jacob tells them that it might not be her who is feeling thirsty, but the child who is feeling a strong thirst for blood. Carlisle decides to test Jacob's theory and see if Bella will get better. He goes and gets blood and has Bella drink it. Indeed, when she drinks it, she improves greatly compared to before. When Bella finds out that the child was thirsty for blood, she decides to drink blood again. Afterward, Bella talks with her father on the phone. She checks on him and tells him that she is a little sick and she will have to delay returning from her honeymoon. But her father begins to suspect that something is wrong and tells her that he will come to visit her as soon as possible. But Bella tells him not to visit her because they will be moving to another area. She says goodbye to him and hangs up the call. When she hangs up the call, Edward comes in and apologizes to her for his anger the last time. He tells her that he feels guilty because he was not by her side in the moments she needed him, but from this day on, he will stay by her side and support her in any decision she makes. They both reconcile. At the same time, Carlisle is talking with Jacob and tells him that Bella will give birth tomorrow, and that they have run out of all the blood they have and need a lot of blood for the procedure. Furthermore, they need food, and they must go hunting today. Jacob tells them that if they go out to the forest, the leader and the rest of the werewolves will finish them off in seconds. But a good idea comes to Jacob so that the Cullen family can hunt. Jacob goes to talk with the tribe leader to distract them while the Cullen family is hunting. Jacob tells him that he will stay at the Cullen house and will wait for Bella to give birth to the child, and then he will kill the child himself. But the leader is smart and feels that he is distracting them from something. He does not believe his words. He leaves him and walks away. When Jacob returns to the Cullen house, he learns that they have already hunted what they needed and returned home. Edward goes to thank Jacob for his help to them. When they both enter to see Bella, they are surprised that she will give birth now. Carlisle is not present at that moment. Edward and Jacob decide to perform an emergency C-section on Bella. They both manage to get the baby out alive, and they learn that it is a girl, not a boy. Edward is very happy when he sees her, but unfortunately, because Bella lost a lot of blood, her heart stops and she faints. Jacob tries to save her and perform CPR on her. Edward also tries to save her, but all their attempts fail completely, and Bella has passed away. Jacob gets hysterical and goes out to cry violently outside. As for Edward, he refuses to believe that she is dead at all. He keeps making attempts to save her and keeps biting her body to transform her into a vampire and save her, but it is futile. At the same time, Jacob gets very angry at the little girl, believing that she killed Bella. Jacob decides to kill the girl. He enters the house to kill her, but when he looks into her eyes, he weakens and cannot do anything. He goes back on his decision. At that moment, all the werewolves learn that Bella is dead and the baby is still alive. They all go to the Cullen house to finish off the baby, but Edward leaves Bella upstairs and goes downstairs with his family to confront the werewolves. After a long fight, Jacob intervenes in the middle of the battle. He tells the leader that he has imprinted on the little girl. The meaning of a werewolf imprinting on a girl is that he is bound to her, and she is his soulmate. No werewolf can touch the imprinted girl who is linked to the future of their tribe. This is the most important law of the werewolves. The leader and the rest of the werewolves retreat. They leave Jacob and the Cullen family and walk away. The next day arrives. The Cullen family is preparing Bella to bury her, but suddenly Bella's wounds begin to heal, and the color of her skin begins to turn white. They all are surprised that Bella opens her eyes after she has transformed into a vampire and returned to life once again. The fourth part of the saga ends. Thank you for watching.